Parents, teachers, and friends. We are from Group 1, Class 9C. I'm Delphina.
And I'm Leonie.
And in this exhibition, we are going to present Reducing Organic Waste by Composting. These are our one-year project that we do last semester for research, which is continued to our recent semester. However, let's discuss this further. Our complete group members are Aaron, Crystal, me, Leonie, and Renaud. But why exactly do we choose this topic? Well, this is all going to be answered in our research problem, where we discover that the trash that piles up in landfills causes a global major problem, starting from the spread of diseases that can damage the public health, pollutions from the burning, and a lot more. From these terrifying impacts, we learned that from the methods of reducing it, composting is one of the most effective ones, which was able to finally build our curiosity on how effective is reducing organic waste by composting and using the compost to help people and the environment.
So here are some of the evidence that we've gathered during the research. So first, trash disrupts the world's ecosystem and worsens global warming and climate change, resulting in food crisis. So big amounts of organic waste in landfills undergoes anaerobic decomposition, producing greenhouse gases like methane and carbon dioxide, which will worsen the current global warming and climate change issues, resulting in food crisis since animals and crops cannot adapt to the sudden weather and environmental changes. Secondly, the benefits of composting, so we can reduce the negative impacts of organic waste in landfills, resulting in gradually conserving energy and resources. So composting can save the environment because compost can help in reforestation, wetlands restoration, and habitat revitalization by improving contaminated, compacted, and marginal soils. We can also reduce the amount of emission of greenhouse gas from both landfills and chemical fertilizer production because people are less dependent on them. We can also save costs because there's no need to buy chemical fertilizer and also reducing the usage of remediation technologies. As I mentioned before, composting can also be used to make organic fertilizers.
So this is our result and discussion. Here we use the interview methods, which we asked the 3 respondents who live in a residence with the availability of composting. These are our questions below, from how they got motivated to compost until their suggestions to us.
So from our interview from the residents, we retrieved this information. So first, our respondents are motivated to compost because they've competed in the Survey Smart City competition and their area has lots of fallen leaves and trash. Therefore, they use a big canister-shaped composter which can hold lots of organic waste, and they have a few of these in their residence for communal use. They've also stated that composting helped to reduce the organic waste in their residence significantly. However, only a few people are interested in composting, and this is the most relevant issue, which leads them to buying chemical fertilizers instead of composting.
Next is that 2 of the respondents also suggested that people should try to arrange the amount of food that we eat so that there wouldn't be more food wasted in order to reduce the amount of organic waste. As a result, in our discussion from the interview, we figured loads of advantages, such as reducing pollutions, better health to the society, as the spread of diseases will gradually fade because there will be less insects or rats. And it even helps people economically, where people can earn their income after selling their organic fertilizers and saving money from the usage of organic fertilizers itself instead of the chemical ones, which are far more expensive. However, putting the benefits aside, we detect some deficiencies as well. where organic composter will take a really long time in using microbes for composting, and non too little recognition in our society, in our country, barely know or understand the term of the organic composter. In the end, one of the respondents also suggested raising awareness about composting by training more people and talking about it in environmental movements by the governments as a solution.
So in conclusion, composting is very beneficial to society as it produces organic fertilizer and reduces waste and pollution. However, people are unaware of the current amount of waste produced and people aren't familiar with the concept of composting.
Additionally, composting takes a long duration of time and is costly. However, we can actually help reduce organic waste by arranging foods. Lastly, we can even reduce it more significantly through extra training to reach more people, even in the rural areas, and spread awareness as well, which is why we created this recommendation product.
So our product is a simple smallpox composter that's made of aluminum, which is a cheap and strong material to hold the organic waste. So each household can have their own individual composter. Unlike a regular canister-shaped composter, ours is not cylinder-based to give more surface area.
So this is the composter structure and its function. As we can see, there are two layers in this composter. One of them is the one at the top and the other one's underneath it. But let's begin with the first layer, which is the place for the organic waste. That can be taken out like a drawer by pulling the handler. Meanwhile, the one underneath it, or the second layer, is the water storage. Also, as we can notice, there are tiny holes on the lid and the drawer. Well, this is actually work to keep its moisture and allow it to have good circulation of air, as the water would eventually evaporate it. However, there's another structure that might be slightly different from the original organic composter, which is having a handle crank attached to a rake. This would actually be beneficial in helping the rate of reaction of the compost even faster, especially when we are trying to mix the microbe, where microbe is the organism used for compost, with the organic waste together inside. So with the organic composter, this would automatically lead us to a better environment. That is it for our project. However, before we end this, we would like to state and share the benefits and skills that we got throughout the whole project, from the beginning until the end. I personally think that I was able to develop my researching skill and knowledge from the websites or articles that I read. Also, improving my communication through the interviews, strengthen my critical thinking and analytical through tasks and obstacles that we face. But of course, I was able to learn how to manage my time even better and reflect on what I need to improve most, like sometimes the collaboration skill. How about you, Leonie?
I learned a lot of stuff about composting through this project, and I also learned to research and find important and accurate information for our research in the internet. I also had a chance to enhance my summarizing skills as I learned to communicate better while working with different people as I go out of my comfort zone. I also was able to gain confidence by interviewing strangers as I learned to think more objectively rather than subjectively. So that's all from us.